So Brad Pitt filed this lawsuit against Angelina Jolie having to do with their winery and more specifically the shares um, or Angelina Jolie's shares in the business. And so, to overly simplify this, I guess the basis of his complaint is that number one, she wasn't supposed to sell them. Number two, even if she did sell them, she was supposed to give Brad the first right of refusal contractually, which just means that she would say, hey, if I'm going to sell, you have an opportunity to buy them so that the other shareholders don't have an opportunity to kind of get a monopoly in the business, right? To take control. And so he goes, because you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you sold it to someone else. Now someone else has a majority share. You have ruined this thing that I built from the ground up. And so there's a lot of claims, but this is all businessy stuff. We're not talking about defamation. We're not
Right,
talking
right,
about
right.
domestic violence. But it's very interesting, and we have yet to go through the answer that Angelina. She hasn't filed it yet, but I guess on June 4th, Brad Pitt filed an amended complaint.
Yes.
So he's clarified his complaint. We'll say.
Yeah, no, and I gotta tell you, I feel for my guy Brad Pitt, man. I feel for dude. Like if they had an agreement where all these kind of decisions had to been, I know they've had problems with their divorce and they had like, some child custody issues. And I know they have their, other kind of problems or whatever with each other. But if they had an agreement for this business thing that has millions upon millions of dollars at stake for it, you got to uphold that and just at least give him a chance to buy his company, or at least at the very least let him know, like he shouldn't find out. Oh, by the way, like, I mean, he's accusing her of aiding in a hostile takeover of his winery,
Right.
and
Well, and again, you only know one side of the story until there's another side provided via the answer. Now, I'm always about giving very neutral legal analysis over kind of what's happening. I'll say I am 1,000% biased in general when it comes to Angelina Jolie. She's kind of the
yeah, you
only
are.
actress ever that I have kind of fangirled out about, and I really have no other celebrity kind of crushes on the planet. But she's great. I support her. But as it relates to this complaint, I'm really interested to kind of see where this goes. And then obviously what her defenses are, right? Because she's going to have a defense. And I'm curious to see whether she counterclaims, right? So we see that happen. So, someone who gets sued has an opportunity to then sue back if they have their own separate claims. And so we'll see if that comes up.
Yeah, no. So I guess my question for you would be, just, oh, I got something here over here. Uh, would be, if everything, how I like to take things just kind of at face value as I read them, and then I kind of ask you, um, if this is the case, and they had in the written agreement that she was supposed to consult him before a sale, and then she made the sale without consulting him, and let's just say that's all in the up and up, isn't that it? Like, wouldn't that be like void the sale if it was in the contract written? I mean, isn't that why you would write that, stipulation in a contract to make sure that that's, to Brad Pitt, I'm sure that that was the most important thing that was written in that contract was, after it was decided, what's going to happen with your side, that I am made aware if you're going to get rid of it because I have my passion is this, you know what I mean? Like, so that's my question. Wouldn't that just be kind of the end of it?
Yeah, so that is what Brad is trying to do as far as to undo the sale. And so he said, we have an agreement. This is a violation of that agreement. So you can seek court intervention and you say, court, this is a violation of my agreement. So there has to be an undoing of the deal that Angelina Jolie did with the third party buyer. But that has a lot of implications, right? Because let's say Brad is successful. So not only will Angelina, lose on that case, potentially be liable for his attorney's fees and then whatever his damages are, which are
I'm
probably
sure that's a
they're
big
going to be
ticket
very
one.
extensive, but she may then have liability as it relates to the deal with the other buyer, right? Because now they no longer have the shares that they purchased. And so it's undoing a lot. It's kind of the can of worms theory.
So
So good question.
yeah, if that's in the contract, I would just, I would just say, like, if her attorneys, because I'm sure she had to go through all kinds of attorneys to sell her shares, right? To
It's a very
they're
long process when it comes to selling stock in a company, shares exactly.
so I mean, I'm sure that for Brad Pitt to feel that it was an aggressive move would be kind of valid because she had to have had these discussions with her attorney. You sure you don't want to just like, I don't know, shoot him a text or you want me to you don't even have to send him anything. I'll send him the letter because I'm as the attorney, I'm sure that you would just send, Brad the letter. It wouldn't be her herself have to do anything with him, but just like the attorney to kind of cover himself and then or if none of that was done, could Angelina Jolie say, "Well, my attorney never told me I had to," and then could there be a case against the attorney for not? Because I don't know. If it's in there, that's it.
Well, this goes back once again to we don't know what Angelina's response or defense is going to be, right? So number one, we keep referencing a contract. There may not have been a written contract. We
Okay.
know that there's an allegation that there was an agreement.
Could that be verbal?
So right, so meaning we had an understanding between us. It was a verbal agreement. So I don't know if it's written or verbal. I'll need to
Is
actually
that
review
binding?
the amended complaint. A verbal agreement is typically binding in most scenarios. There are exceptions, but
What do they do?
you
Like
know,
the Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, where they look and they go, did you were you aware that did you make that verbal agreement? And they're all looking, the whole Larry
that's
David,
right.
and
You
see if
got to give them the
Angelina
whole.
Jolie tells the truth.
That is what's missing, I think, in lawyering. In depositions. I mean, they just need the
Just give
Larry
them the
David
Larry
look.
David.
Yes. So, I'll continue to follow this. I do want to go through and actually read the amended complaint to see what's been added. And then from here, we will be getting an answer from Angelina Jolie, and I'll be going through that for sure.
It's interesting and it's fun, and I mean everybody seems to eat up with the spoon whenever those two are in headlines still together. I don't understand why they couldn't just make it work, right?